crest shadows bending through the star-burned plain. Boots heels pounding in a stone-cut strain. Midnight current sweeping past a canyon throat. Sharp blind sparks drifting in a slow red flow. Astridge timbers trembling under dusty weight. Heatful murmurs echo near the old gate. Wind flare dust swirling with the steel tune tone, pulling our focus through the blaze one zone. We are the midnight assembly in a fire crest storm, throwing out force where the hot winds foam. Forge wild strings cracking in a sunburst cry, sending our power at a molten sky. Midnight assembly, raw reborn, cutting our mark through the ember tone. Dust bank banners quiver in a deep wave sweep. Grainstone echoes rolling from the valley steep. Torchline grass is banding in a heat blue spin. Gold shard flecks dancing where the storms begin. Fall crest vapors humming in a cold bright rain. River cliff whispers shift beneath the spring. Strong trail hum lifting from the cracked earth seam, feeding our will like a frontier stream. We are the midnight assembly in a fire crest storm, throwing out force where the hot winds fall. Forge wild strings cracking in a sunburst cry, sending our power at a molten sky. Midnight assembly, raw reborn, cutting our mark through the ember tone. Flare, we hold our stance in a burning air. No surge too sharp for the steel we bear. This fire-made path is the one we wear. Heat glow flickers across the low ridge line. A faint hum drifts in a copper shine. Shadows fall slow as the night runs thin, holding the trace of everywhere we've been. Rifles blades convulsing in a continent roar. Boot strikes detonating on a mantle-torn floor. Cataclysm vapor shredding through the slag storm. Crest piercing stone phantoms lunging from a fractured nest. Brim cracked talons drumming in a deep core sweep. Wolf-old embers rising from a tectonic sleep. Shock marrow pulses blazing down the iron wound trail, dragging our force through a thunderstone veil. March, throwing brute voltage through the sky gone starch. Meteors and bursts tearing in a planet cut cry, casting wild fury at a black ash sky. savage and large, breaking the world with a ground-born charge. Scorched veins buckling in a molten quick storm, torsion feathers spiraling in a mid-crust shake, sharp root engines rattling with a furnace spin, quail hammer ridges trembling under pressure, might void flesh hearts glittering in the stone dust night, mantle spike breath roaring from the underland scene, filling our frame with a blast fork scream. We are the cataclysm regiment in a quarry forge march, throwing brute voltage through a sky gone starch. Meteors and bursts tearing in a planet cut cry, casting wild fury at a black ass sky. Cataclysm savage and large, breaking the world with a ground-born charge. Ashfall halos drift on a collapsed red crown, a dim steel tremor swells beneath the ground. Far in the rift, faint embers glow, holding the heat where our shock waves go. Buckling in a blast core sweep, boot heels detonating through a quake scar deep, shock fork embers ripping from the molten track, ground shard vapors twisting in a black heat crack, war-spin pillars shaking under pressure flare, iron lash tremors snaking through the rupture air, borderline phantoms rolling in the furnace tide, pulling off fury from the iron-born side. We are the shock fork legion on ready to run, casting raw force with a deep wave stun, hammer string burst screaming in a slag hot cry, hurling wild power at a forge burn sky. Shock forge legion, brutal undone, flaring the earth till the strong ones come. Magma drift grasses tearing in a flame vein spin, core surge feathers scattering on the hard wind skin, deep cliff engines rumbling with a steel storm roll, breaker whispers clawing at a sear-hot soul, blast frost shards flashing in a fracture beam, crater shade currents slicing like a war-built stream, torque crest roars slamming down the razor blade, feeding our strength with a fire-born strain. We are the shock forge legion on a ready to run, casting raw force with a deep wave stun, hammer string burst screaming in a slag hot cry, hurling wild power out of forge burn the seared granite bite. Chaw-flare fragments drift across the ruptured field. A dim red hum trembles through the cooling shield. Far on the slope, new sparks grow, marking the path where our storms still flow. We are the sharks for Galatian on a Reddington run, casting raw force where the deep waves stun. Hammer string burst screaming in a slag-hot cry, hurling wild power at a forge-burned sky. Tearing through the cobalt dust, blue teals hammering a wildfire thrust, thunderborn echoes ripping down the metal crown, hardline flashes raining from a steel-cut town, blast force pillars shaking in a deep wave hum, shock trail grain spinning where the cold fronts drum, red break shadows slicing through the canyon sweep, pulling out force from the valley's keep. We are the Thunderborn Division on a Titan Ridge run, throwing out fire where the black wind stun. Roaring in a blaze hard cry, sending our voltage to a storm blue sky. Thunderborn Division, carved and spun, turning the highlands till the fierce ones come. Cold hot grass is burning in a high shock sway, frostline vapors coiling in a molten spray. Trimmer crest rails trembling with a canyon roar, glint wave feathers sweeping past the fractured floor, wide flare timbers bending in a heat bone ring, dust forge murmurs trembling where the far winds swing, hail summit dust climbing on the red light band, the Thunderborn Division on a Titan Ridge run, throwing out fire where the black wind stun, iron flare strings roaring in a blaze hard cry, sending our voltage to a storm blue sky. Thunderborn Division, carved and spun, turning the highlands till the fierce ones come. If the sky drops down with a quake deep spark, we cut right through in the iron dark. No storm too brutal for the steel we claim. Arrows By dusk settles on the lifted stone. A low ground pulse rumbles like a baritone. Beyond the peaks, dim embers glow, tracing the edge where our forces go. Red summit winds carving through the brimstone rise. Footsteps hammer on a rough cut prize. Galehound shadow streaking past the canyon rim. Brass wire hum drifting where the daylight dims. Clay burst dust storms running on a broken lane. High scorched timbers bending in a fire-vein rain. Oh, lookout towers glowing in a dust-born gleam, pulling our momentum into the heat line stream. Every sharp gust bites a granite plain, churning our pulse like a storm-wrought chain. With the Galleyhounds Union on a red summit sweep, flinging out power where the hard winds leap. Sparks, saw strings tearing in a canyon cry, driving our roar toward a smoke-cut sky. Galleyhounds Union, bold and deep, roaring through zones where the fearless keep. Trail fences shudder in the broad wind flare. Slate grass feathers spiring through the sear-born air. Crown line plateaus glowing with a wildfire coat. Grain-filled whispers curling in a crimson float. Wide bank ledges tremble with the deep wave push. Sealed forge echoes rising in a copper rush. Trail beam shadows racing down the open span, gathering strength like a frontier clan. Every stone clap splits a ridge in 3 feet, and I'll stride with a raw-bound plea. We're the Galleyhounds Union on a red summit sweep, flinging out power where the hard winds leap. Sparks, saw strings tearing in a canyon cry, driving our roar toward a smoke-cut sky. Galleyhounds Union, bold and deep, roaring through zones where the fearless keep. If the brim wall shakes with an ember-born blow, we'll move straight in where the fire lines go. No scorch too wild for a grid home core. We stamp our track on the heated floor. We're the Galleyhounds Union on a red summit sweep, flinging out power where the hard winds leap. Sparks, saw strings tearing in a canyon cry, driving our roar toward a smoke-cut sky. Galleyhounds Union, bold and deep, roaring through zones where the fearless keep. The sky sinks heavy over Copper Ridge, ash slide drifting past the timber bridge. Far below, the fields breathe slow and warm, holding the silence after the storm. Red front gusts whipping through the Thunder Bay plain. Boot steps pounding in a molten grain rain. Storm hollow rafters quiver in a dust-born glow. Dust-board spirals tearing where the hot winds blow. Flavor-back fences rattling on a copper ridge. Cool beam shadows skipping on a canyon bridge. Wild spur echoes bursting in a hardline wave, pulling our poles toward the trail-borne crave. Every fierce clang splits a falling wide, feeding our fire with a raw storm pride. With a storm hollow crew in a red front sweep, throwing out thunder where the wild runs deep. Brass cut strings screaming in a blaze shot cry, launching our heat to the torch-lit sky. Storm hollow crew, iron and steep, shaking the plains where the strong hearts sleep. Crater step gravel swirling in a dust line spin. Fang root bands twisting in a heat-borne din. Bond rock rafters groaning under storm pulse weight. Gold flare sparks skittering through the iron gate. Downstream mesa glowing in a red storm hue. Tremor hush murmurs drifting on the blue. Hard ground tremble rolling like a giant's drum, pushing our nerve where the storm winds come. Every loud burst pulls a dust-skinned flame, driving our boots with a battle-strong aim. We're the storm hollow crew in a red front sweep, throwing out thunder where the wild runs deep. Brass cut strings screaming in a blaze shot cry, launching our heat to the torch-lit sky. Storm hollow crew, iron and steep, shaking the plains where the strong hearts sleep. If the ground splits open with a quake forge roar, we'll push straight through like we've done before. No surge too brutal for the grit we claim. We carve our mark in the stormlight flame. We're the storm hollow crew in a red front sweep, throwing out thunder where the wild runs deep. Brass cut strings screaming in a blaze shot cry, launching our heat to the torch-lit sky. Storm hollow crew, iron and steep, shaking the plains where the strong hearts lead. Cinder glow twilight settles on the cracked earth line, and the old wind hums like a far-off sign. The storm dies quiet, yet the land still thrums, holding the echo of everywhere we've come.
Flare currents bursting through the dust-cracked shale. Boot steps detonating in a gravel storm trail. Riff-borne vapors twisting in a harsh cobalt spin. Shard crest shock toward a steel blue sky. Riff-born company, jagged and steep, carving the plains with a force we keep. Storm track vapors vaulting through the amberway blaze. Hard cliff shadows twitch along the split stone chain. Pulse fog engines rumble in a tight and strained rain. Green flare shivers dancing on a charred red crest. Thunder crest murmurs trembling from a molten nest. Brass fold wind surging in a drumline twist, fueling our stance with a war-built fist. We are the riff-born company in an iron flare sweep, launching fierce voltage where the canyon leaps. Hammer string ox tearing in a furnace cry, sending wild shock toward a steel blue sky. Riff-born company, jagged and steep, carving the plains with the force we keep. Should the earth convulse in a quake-born spark, we brace through the blast like a forge-cut arc. No surge too vicious for a spine so wide. Our roads stay sealed in a ground fire spire. Drift over the silent red scene. A low iron hum shivers in a silver beam. Far on the ridge, faint sparks ignite, marking the realm where our legends ignite. Trail ridge is glowing in a copper wave haze. Footsteps grinding through the rimstone maze. Sundown currents rattling on the jagged rise. Drift fork sparks curling with a hard wind sighs. Crestfall timbers vibrating in a scorched red ring. Dust line murmurs moving with a low ground swing. Heat crest shadows twisting past a canyon blade, pulling off fire through the sunburned fade. We are the sundown syndicate on the ember trail sweep, throwing out charge where the dry flames leap. Steel coil notes roaring in a 5-1 cry, driving our force up a smoke-gold sky. Sundown syndicate, fierce and deep, turning the plains with a wild-bound key. Flint crest banner snapping in a wildfire roll. Stone grain echoes thundering from a canyon shore. Cinderbank dust shifting in a molten glide. Glow-cut feathers drifting on a heat front tide. Low-spur timbers trembling with a ground-shot hum. Bowline vapors lifting where the dust beams drum. Hot seal motion slipping down the open bend, feeding our strength like a storm-born friend. We are the sundown syndicate on the Ember Trail sweep, throwing out charge where the dry flames leap. Steel cold notes roaring in a 5-1 cry, driving our force up a smoke-gold sky. Sundown syndicate, fierce and deep, turning the plains with a wild-bound king. If the dust wall cracks with a quake flare hit, we stand right firm in the heart of it. No ash wave burn can mute our core. Our marks stay set in the fields we tore. Over the canyon's rim, a faint low shimmer settles dim. Still in the hush, warm traces glow, holding the path where our echoes go.
Glowing in the scorch-born gleam, boot steps snapping through the wildfire scene. Iron wagon shadows crawling over canyon wire. Smoke rift halos swirling in a dust blue fire. Plateau hum rising with a deep stone growl. Wideband echoes chasing every Roman howl. Craggle-line sparks drifting through the broken air, driving our nerve toward the far-off glare. Every hot surge cuts the barren ground, filling our chests with a dust-raw sound. We are the canyon vanguard on a gold drift run, throwing out force where the red wind stuns. Steel grit chords bursting in a sand-shot cry, flinging out charge at a wildfire sky. Canyon vanguard forged and spun, shaping the world where the brave hearts drum. Rust-born timber shaking in the heat line sway. Rust-born timber shaking in the heat line sway. Crimson haze drifting down the granite way. Cold shade ridges breathing in a thundercast. Hard scrape banners whipping in the canyon blast. Slope fall ashes tumble in a copper churn, done a crisp murmurs tightening every turn. Fire cut ridge lines leaning through the storm and span, feeding our drive like a sharpened plan. Every rough pull spends a day in flame, pushing our boots with a frontier aim. We are the canyon vanguard on a gold drift run, throwing out force where the red wind stuns. Steel Steel chords bursting in a sand-shot cry, flinging our charge at a wildfire sky. Canyon vanguard forged and spun, shaping the world with a brave heart's drum. If the cliffs beat back with a quake deep roar, we'll meet that shock with a heart of core. No blast too harsh for a grit-trimmed soul. We carry that burn as a living roll. We are the Canyon Vanguard on a gold drift run, throwing out force where the red wind stuns. Steel grit chords bursting in a sand-shot cry, flinging our charge at a wildfire sky. Canyon Vanguard forged and spun, shaping the world with a brave heart's drum. Sunfire drips across the battered stone, the heat sighs low like an ancient tone. Far in the haze, the last sparks glow, tracing the path of everywhere we go. Slicing through the wind lake shore, boot steps clattering on a steel grain floor. Clock spot towers chiming in a frost glow ring, ripple glass sparks lifting where the chill front swing. High crest saddle shining on a ridge-wide span, cold line tremors rolling like a marching clang. Silver hoof echoes crossing through the dewborn veil, pulling our charge down the wild front trail. Every sharp breeze wets the sky in fire, feeding our stride with a road-wide desire. We're the Iron Crest drifters on a wind lake flight, throwing out thunder through the mid-blue night. String shot riffs blazing in a cold steel cry, launching our roar toward the lantern sky. Iron Crest drifters, fierce and bright, racing the gust where the bolt ignite. Timbers humming on a shoreline bend, half-born vapors swirling where the glow winds blend. Stone bend prairies glowing in a downwave cast, fire grain leaves rattling in a chill front blast. Frost line wagon shivering on a northbound rail, drift trail hollers winding through the valley pale. Wide bank echoes skipping on the untouched land, driving our pulse like an outlaw band. Every tall clang splits the world in three, pushing our boots where the wild hearts flee. We're the Iron Crest drifters on a wind lake flight, throwing out thunder through the mid-blue night. String shot riffs blazing in a cold steel cry, launching our roar toward the lantern sky. Iron Crest drifters, fierce and bright, racing the the Iron Crest drifters on a wind lake flight, throwing out thunder through the mid-blue night. String shot riffs blazing in a cold steel cry, launching our roar toward the lantern sky. Iron Crest drifters, fierce and bright, racing the gusts where the bold ignite. Blue gold dawn settling on the water's crown. Hill wind murmurs slowing down. But long as the lake keeps calling free, the drifters rise, and they ride with me. Is rumbling in a deep black sweep, booth heels striking on a charbone steep. Iron flint sheds glowing through the ash wind glare, stormful drafts kicking in the canyon air. Bomb beam rafters shudder with a hard line groan, dust fall spiral skitter on a cracked red stone. Smolder trail echoes rising from the dry cut seam, pulling on nerve like a hot work dream. Every course gust fires, the valleys roar, raising our stride through the wild soil floor. With a storm forge riders on a cold crest run, shaking loose sparks till the dust comes undone. Steel bat cords ripping in a furnace cry, launching our howl toward the red cliff sky. Storm forge riders fierce as one, racing the break where the strong hearts stun. Tack embers drifting in a hard wind tide, cinder back fences rattling on the hillside glide. Bell line pillars humming in a torch warm ring, flare a grove leaf snapping in a twilight swing. Rock jaw timbers clacking on the dust we crack, tin rail icons glowing in the fireborn black. Blaze crest whispers sweeping through the midland frame, feeding our grit with a frontier flame. Every ground shake splits of farmlands wide, driving our boots in a red trail glide. We're the storm forge riders on a cold crest run, shaking loose sparks till the dust comes undone. Steel by cords ripping in a furnace cry, launching our howl towards the red cliff sky. Storm forge riders fierce as one, racing the break where the strong hearts stun. Shot roar will cut straight through like a wild line core. No blast too hot for a rider's claim. We forge our path in the amber flame. We're the storm forge riders on a cold crest run, shaking loose sparks till the dust comes undone. Steel by cords ripping in a furnace cry, launching our howl toward the red cliff sky. Storm forge riders fierce as one, racing the break where the strong hearts stun. Cold warm twilight settling on the plowing seam, slow burn murmurs drifting like a fading dream. But as long as the crest keeps roaring free, the storm forge riders ride with me.
Boot marks cracking on a frost-white land. Cold flare pillars rising by a crater trail. Sparkville moat swarming in a lavender gale. Steel front cabins humming with an ember tone rain. Shadow flint gusts tugging at a weathered wing. Astral heat ripples flashing on a canyon plate, pulling our stride through the drift fire gate. Every pale gust bends the desert glow, feeding our pulse with a wild bone throw. We're the drift fire outlaws on a Moon Ridge ride, punching up heat where the low winds glide. Voltage string growls tearing through the cold, launching our sparks like a runaway boat. Drift fire outlaws, untamed pride, racing the dusk on the crater side. Glint rock shards clatter in a silver-bound sweep. Hollow beam echoes rising from the canyon deep. Frost-blown petals lifting in a violet rush. Earthshine pulses in a trembling hush. Old rover crates rattling in a cobalt sway. Sky-worn banners flicking in the astral spray. Wind scar whistle skimming down the ridge bog span, driving our nerve like a frontline clan. Every sharp note shakes the shadow's frame, stirring our boots in a burning aim. We're the drift fire outlaws on a Moon Ridge ride, punching up heat where the low winds glide. Voltage string growls tearing through the cold, launching our sparks like a runaway boat. Drift fire outlaws, untamed pride, racing the dusk on the crater side. If the night cracks open with a starborn roar, we'll blaze straight through like we have before. No ridge too pale for the fire we hold. We stamp our vow in the silver fold. We're the drift fire outlaws on a Moon Ridge ride, punching up heat where the low winds glide. Voltage string growls tearing through the cold, launching our sparks like a runaway boat. Drift fire outlaws, untamed pride, racing the dusk on the crater side. Dawn eye shimmer on the moonlit plain. Low wind murmurs fading like a gentle chain. But as long as the stars breathe wild and free, the drift fire outlaws ride with me. Through the gold rush reeds,
hearts dare. With clay embers rising in a copper white lift, briny crisp whispers shaping in a moonlit drift. Bogue trail fences rattling in a frost wave hum. White flare currents rolling like a heavy drum. Steel vine branches quivering in a deep wind ring. Cloud veil dust whipping where the rainstorms swing. Far shore rumble shaking down the silver span, feeding our will like a frontier plan. Every ground throb cracks the open blue, driving our pulse towards something new. We are the Thunder Hands Division in a marsh bowl glare, throwing out force through the weather-torn air. Storm-cut strings crackling in a skybound cry, sending our charge to the high folk sky. Thunder Hands Division, raw and rare, hammering a path where the brave hearts dare. If the wetlands roll with a quake-born spark, we move straight in through the listening dark. No tide too harsh for a heart full steel. We bend that stone to the shape we feel. We are the Thunder Hands Division in a marsh bowl glare, throwing out force through the weather-torn air. Storm-cut strings crackling in a skybound cry, sending our charge to the high folk sky. Thunder Hands Division, raw and rare, hammering a path where the brave hearts dare. Storm fade trembles on the water's rim, the wetlands hush to a distant hymn. Shadows drift slow through the afterglow, guarding the secrets of everywhere we go.
Rusted veil currents rolling through the ember-cut plain, boot steps crunching in a gravel-born stream. Storm-carved shadows curling by the canyon sweep, copper wind sparks drifting where the low winds creep. Iron-lashed timbers humming in a sand-red ring, quake-forged pulses moving like a wild heart swing. Blaze wave flex flashing on the broken trail, pulling our breath through a furnace-scale gale. We are the storm-carved union on a rust-belt line, throwing out heat through the fault-struck spine. Steel flare strings roaring in a red fire cry, launching our force at a smoke-born sky. Storm-carved union, sharp, refined, cutting a path with a stone-forged mind. Dust-thung banner snapping in a crosswind shove, stone branch rattles echo showing from the ridge above. Heat plume ridges glowing in a molten sweep. Grain fall murmurs rising from the canyon deep. Torch step sparks flick across the shale carver run. Frost burned vapor shimmer in the sinking sun. Wide front motion pressing down the glowing land. Feeding our drive like a frontier band. We are the Stone Carve Union on a Rust Belt line, throwing out heat through the fault-struck spine. Steel flare strings roaring in a red fire cry, launching our force at a smoke-borne sky. Storm Carve Union, sharp refined, cutting a path with a stone-forged mind. If the ground erupts with a quake-deep shout, we push through hard without burning out. No surge too brutal for a backbone crew. We brand our name in the dust we hew. Sun-scorched glow settles over fractured stone. A faint low hum lingers like a distant tone. Beyond the ridge, warm embers slow, marking the course where our legends flow. Whoa!
Silver gap ridges humming in a heat front glow. Boot fields kicking through a dust hammer flow. Blast wind pillars shaking on a canyon spine. Flower grain vapors drifting in a sharp cut line. Red shell timbers rumble in a ground-wide surge. Wild crest sparks sleeping where the rock paths merge. Smoke edge currents rising in a violet spin, pulling our breath toward the thunder within. We are the Blast Wind Alliance on a silver gap track, throwing out force through the canyon crack. Steel burst chords tearing in a burn shot cry, sending our strength through the furnace sky. Blast Wind Alliance, bold and black, turning the plain with a hard line smack. Iron thin grass is bending in a high wind fall. Canyon line echoes bouncing off the sandstone wall. Heat draft banners trembling in a copper sweep. Low crush murmurs rolling from the bedrock deep. Silk flare ridges glitter in a molten veil. Green step shadows tumbling down the open trail. Rough cliff pulses rising in a quake-bound wave, feeding our grip with the fire we crave. We are the Blast Wind Alliance on a silver gap track, throwing out force through the canyon crack. Steel burst chords tearing in a burn shot cry, sending our strength through the furnace sky. Blast Wind Alliance, bold and black, turning the plain with a hard line smack. If the storm line breaks with a blaze core scream, we cut straight
across a trembling ground. A slow, deep rumble carries a fading sound. Far down the gorge, a lone spark glows, guarding the tracks where our story goes. Forged plates convulsing in a continent roar. Bootstracks detonating on a mantle-torn floor. Cataclysm vapor shredding through the slack storm crest. Pierce the stone phantoms lunging from a fractured nest. Brim cracked talons drumming in a deep core sweep. War-fought embers rising from a tectonic sleep. Shock moral pulses blazing down the iron wound trail, dragging our force through a thunderstone veil. We are the Cataclysm Regiment in a quarry forge march, throwing brute voltage through a sky gone starch. Meteor string bursts, tearing in a planet-cut cry, casting wild fury at a black ash sky. Cataclysm Regiment, savage and large, breaking the world with a ground-born charge. Scorch-ridge veins buckling in a molten quake. Storm-torsion feathers spiraling in a mid-crush shake. Shark brood engines rattling with a furnace spin. Coal shatter gusts hissing on a basalt skin. Quail hammer ridges trembling under pressure might. Void flare shards glittering in the stone dust night. Mantle spike breath roaring from the underland seam, filling our frame with a blast fork scream. We are the Cataclysm Regiment in a quarry forge march, throwing brute voltage through a sky gone starch. Meteor string bursts, tearing in a planet-cut cry, casting wild fury at a black ash sky. Cataclysm Regiment, savage and large, breaking the world with a ground-born charge. A titan bone shout, we step through the breach with a core blown out. No crush too vicious for a regiment flame. Our oath stays welded in the bedrock frame. Riverton Ridge front buckling in a blast course sweep. Boots heels dead and through a quake scar deep. Shock fog embers ripping from the molten track. Grind shot vapors twisting in a black heat crack. Washbound pillars shaking under pressure flare. Iron lash tremors snaking through the rupture air. Boulder line phantoms rolling in a furnace tide, pulling off fury from the iron-born side. We are the shock forward legion on a Riverton road, casting raw force where the deep waves stun. Hammer string burst screaming in a slag hot cry, hurling wild power at a 4G burn sky. Shock forward legion, brutal undone, flaring the earth till the strong ones come. Magma drift grasses tearing in a flame vein spin. Core surge feathers scattering on the hard wind skin. Deep cliff engines rumbling with a steel storm roll. Ash breaker whispers clawing at a sear hot soul. Blast frost shards flashing in a fracture beam. Crater shade currents slicing like a war-built stream. Talkie crest rolls slamming down the razor blade, feeding our strength with a fireborn strain. We are the shock force legion on a Riverton run, casting raw force where the deep waves stun. Hammer string burst screaming in a slag hot cry, hurling wild power at a 4G burn sky. Shock forward legend, brutal undone, flaring the earth till the strong ones If the mantle cracks with a hammer-wrought roar, we advance straight in through the molten floor. No surge too vicious for a core this bright. We wield our vow in the seared granite bite. Chaff-left fragments drift across the ruptured field. A dim red hum trembles through the cooling shield. Far on the slope, new sparks grow, marking the path where our storms still flow.
Ridge currents tearing through the cobalt dust. Boots heels hammering a wildfire thrust. Thunderbolt echoes ripping down the metal crown. Hardline flashes raining from a steel-cut town. Blast force pillars shaking in a deep wave hum. Shock trail grain spinning where the cold front's drum. Red break shadows slicing through the canyon sweep. force from the valleys keep. We are the Thunderborn Division on a Titan Ridge run, throwing out fire where the black winds stun, iron flesh strings roaring in a blaze hard cry, sending our voltage to a storm blue sky. Thunderborn Division, carved and spun, turning the highlands till the fierce ones come. Hard grass is burning in a high shock sway, frost-line vapors coiling in a molten spray. Tremor crest rails trembling with a canyon roar, Glen wave feathers sweeping past the fractured floor. Wide flare timbers bending in a heat-borne ring, where the far winds swing. Hail summit dust climbing on the red light bend, feeding our power to the world we send. We are the Thunderborn Division on a Titan Ridge run, throwing out fire where the black winds stun, iron flesh strings roaring in a blaze hard cry, sending our voltage to a storm blue sky. Thunderborn Division, carved and spun, turning the highlands till the fierce ones come. If the sky drops down with a quake deep spark, we cut right through in the iron dark. No storm too brutal for the steel we claim. Our oath stays burning in the Titan flame. Blue fire dust settles on the lifted stone, a low ground pulse rumbles like a buried tone. Beyond the peaks dim embers glow, tracing the edge where our forces go.
Shadows bending through the star-burned plain, boot heels pounding in a stone-cut strain. Midnight current sweeping past the canyon throat, sharp line sparks drifting in a slow red float. Ash ridge timbers trembling under dust-set weight. Heatful murmurs echo near the old gate, wind flare dust swirling with a steel-tuned tone, pulling out focus through the blaze-worn zone. We are the midnight assembly in a fire-crisp storm, throwing out force where the hot winds form. Forge wire strings cracking in a sunburst cry, sending out power at a molten sky. Midnight assembly, raw reborn, cutting our mark through the embers torn. Dust bank banners quiver in a deep wave sweep, grainstone echoes rolling from the valley steep. Torchline grasses bending in a heat blue spin, gold shot flags dancing where the storms begin. Fog crest vapors humming in a cold bright rain, river cliff whisper ship beneath the spring. Strong trail hum lifting from the cracked earth scene, feeding our will like a frontier stream. We are the midnight assembly in a fire-crisp storm, throwing out force where the hot winds form. Forge wild strings cracking in a sunburst cry, sending our power at a molten sky. Midnight assembly, raw reborn,
shot flare, we hold our stance in the burning air. No search too sharp for the steel we bear. This fire-made path is the one we wear. Heat glow flickers across a low ridge line. A faint hum drifts in a copper shine. Shadows fold slow as the night runs thin, holding the trace of everywhere we've been.
Summit winds carving through the brimstone rise. Boot steps hammer on a rough cut prize. Galhound shadows streaking past the canyon rim. Brass wire hum drifting where the daylight dims. Clayburst dust storms running on a broken lane. High scorched timbers bending in a fire vein rain. Oh, lookout towers glowing in a dust-born gleam, pulling our momentum into the heat line stream. Every sharp gust bites the granite plain, churning our pulse like a storm wrought chain. We're the Galahhounds Union on a red summit sweep, flinging out power where the hard winds leap. Sparks off strings tearing in a canyon cry, driving our roar toward a smoke-cut sky. Galahhounds Union, bold and deep, roaring through zones where the fearless keep. Rust trail fences shudder in the broad wind flare. Slate grass feathers spiraling through the sear-born air. Crown line plateaus glowing with a wildfire coat. Grainfield whispers curling in a crimson float. Wide bank ledges tremble with a deep wave push. Silt forge echoes rising in a copper rush. Trail beam shadows racing down the open span, gathering strength like a frontier clan. Every stone cleft splits the ridge in 3, feeding our stride with a raw bound plea. We're the Galahhounds Union on a red summit sweep, flinging out power where the hard winds leap. Sparks off strings tearing in a canyon cry, driving our roar toward a smoke-cut sky. Galahhounds Union, bold and deep, roaring through zones where the fearless keep. If the brim wall shakes with an ember-born blow, we'll move straight and where the fire lines go. No scorch too wild for a grid home call. We stamp our track on the heated floor. We're the Galahhounds Union on a red summer sweep, flinging out power where the hard winds leap. Sparks on strings tearing in a canyon cry, driving our roar toward a smoke-cut sky. Galahhounds Union, bold and deep, roaring through zones where the fearless keep. Sky sinks heavy Flashlight drifting past the timber bridge. Far below, the fields breathe slow and warm, holding the silence after the storm. Red front gusts whipping through the thunder-baked plain. Boot steps pounding a molten grain rain. Storm hollow rafters quiver in a dusk-born glow. Dust forged spirals tearing where the hot winds blow. Flary back fences rattling on a copper edge. Cold beam shadows skipping on a canyon bridge. Wild spur echoes bursting in a hardline wave, pulling our pulse toward the trail-born crave. Every fierce clang splits the falling wide, feeding our fire with a raw storm pride. We're the storm hollow crew in a red front sweep, throwing out thunder where the wild runs deep. Brass cut strings screaming in a blaze shot cry, launching our heat to the torchlit sky. Storm hollow crew, iron and steep, shaking the plains where the strong hearts lead. Crater step gravel swirling in a dust line spin. Fan grooved banners twisting in a heat-born din. Barn rock rafters groaning under storm pulse weight. Gold flare sparks skittering through the iron gate. Downstream mesa glowing in a redstone hue. Trim a hush murmurs drifting on the blue. Hard ground tremble rolling like a giant's drum, pushing our nerve where the storm winds come. Every loud burst folds a dusk in flame, driving out boots with a battle-strong aim. We're the storm hollow crew in a red front sweep, throwing out thunder where the wild runs deep. Brass cut strings screaming in a blaze shot cry, launching our heat to the torchlit sky. Storm hollow crew, iron and steep, shaking the plains where the strong hearts lead. If the ground splits open with a quake forge roar, we'll push straight through like we've done before. No surge too brutal for the grip we claim. We carve our mark in the stormlight flame. We're the storm hollow crew in a red front sweep, throwing out thunder where the wild runs deep. Brass cut strings screaming in a blaze shot cry, launching our heat to the torchlit sky. Storm hollow crew, iron and steep, shaking the plains where the strong hearts lead. Twilight settles on the cracked earth line, and the old wind hums like a far-off sign. The storm dies quiet, yet the land still thrums, holding the echo of everywhere we've come. iron flare currents bursting through the dust-cracked shell. Boot steps detonating in a gravel storm trail. Riff-borne vapors twisting in a harsh cobalt spin. Shard crest radiance drifting where the heat line's thin. Fury seal tremor shaking on a rust-scarred ridge. Torch-bound pulses humming near a fractured bridge. Slate forge echoes humming in a deep core frame, stirring our backbone with a red steel flame. We are the riff-borne company in an iron flare sweep, launching fierce voltage where the canyon leads. Hammer string arcs tearing in a furnace cry, sending wild shock toward a steel blue sky. Riff-borne company, jagged and steep, carving the plains with a force we keep. Coleridge feathers glinting in a magnet haze. Storm track vapors vaulting through the ember wave blaze. Hard cliff shadows twitch along a split stone chain. Pulse forge engines rumble in a tight and strained rain. Grain flare shivers dancing on a charred red crest. Thunder crest murmurs trembling from a molten nest. Brass-fold winds surging in a drumline twist, fueling our stance with a war-built fist. We are the riff-borne company in an iron flare sweep, launching fierce voltage where the canyon leads. Hammer string arcs tearing in a furnace cry, sending wild shock toward a steel blue sky. Riff-borne company, jagged and steep, carving the plains with a force we keep. In a quake-borne spark, we brace through the blast like a forge cut off. No surge too vicious for a spine so wide, our road stays sealed in a ground fire spire. Ashlit gusts drift over the silent red seam. A low iron hum shivers in a silver beam. Far on the ridge, faint sparks ignite, marking the realm where our legends ignite. We are the riff-borne company in an iron flare sweep, launching fierce voltage where the canyon leads. Hammer string arcs tearing in a furnace cry, sending wild shock toward a steel blue sky. Riff-borne company, jagged and steep, carving the plains with a force we keep. footsteps grinding through the rimstone maze. Sundown currents rattling on the jagged rise. Drift forward sparks curling where the hard wind sighs. Crestfall timbers vibrating in a scorched red ring. Dust line murmurs moving with a low ground swing. Heat crest shadows twisting past the canyon blade, pulling our fire through the sunburned fade. We are the Sundown Syndicate on the Ember Trail sweep, throwing out charge where the dry flames leap. Steel cold notes roaring in a fireborn cry, driving our force up a smoke-cold sky. Sundown Syndicate, fierce and deep, turning the plains with a wild-bound key. Flint crisp banner snapping in a wildfire roll. Stone grain echoes thundering from a canyon shoal. Cinder bank dust shifting in a molten glide. Glow-cut feathers drifting on a heat front tide. Low spur timbers trembling with a ground shot hum. Bold line vapors lifting where the dusk beams drum. Heart seal motion slipping down the open bend, feeding our strength like a storm-born friend. We are the Sundown Syndicate on the Ember Trail sweep, throwing out charge where the dry flames leap. Steel cold notes roaring in a fireborn cry, driving our force up a smoke-gold sky. Sundown Syndicate, fierce and deep, turning the plains with a wild-bound key. Dust wall cracks with a quake flare hit, we stand right firm in the heart of it. No ash wave burn can mute our core, our mark stays set in the fields we tore. Ash light drifts over the canyon's rim, a faint low shimmer settles dim. Still in the hush, warm traces glow, holding the path where our echoes go. Humming in a heat front glow, boot heels kicking through a dust hammer flow. Blast wind pillars shaking on the canyon spine, flare of grain vapors drifting in a sharp cut line. Red shale timbers rumble in a ground wide surge, wild crest sparks leaping where the rock paths merge. Smoke edge currents rising in a fire-lit spin, pulling our breath till the thunder within. We are the blast wind alliance on a silver gap track, throwing out force through the canyon crack.
off the sandstone wall. Heat draft banners trembling in a copper sweep. Low crush murmurs rolling from the bedrock deep. Silk flare ridges glitter in a molten veil. Grand step shadows tumbling down the open trail. Rough cliff pulses rising in a quake-bound wave, feeding our grip with the fire we crave. We are the blast wind alliance on a silver gap track, throwing out force through the canyon crack. Steel burst chords tearing in a burn shot cry, sending our strength to the furnace sky. Blast wind alliance, bold and black, turning the plane with a hard line smack. If a storm line breaks with a blaze core scream, we cut straight through like a forge-born team. No surge too fierce for the charge we wield. Our marks stay burned in the shaking field. Sunfall ashes drift across the trembling ground. Slow, deep rumble carries a fading sound. Far down the gorge, a lone spark glows, guarding the tracks where our story goes.
Currents rolling through the ember-cut plain. Boot steps crunching in a gravel-born strain. Storm-carved shadows curling by the canyon sweep. Copper wind sparks drifting where the low winds creep. Iron-lashed timbers humming in a sand-red rain. Quake force pulses moving like a wild heart swing. Blaze wave flags flashing on the broken trail, pulling our breath through a furnace scale gale. We are the storm-carved union on a rust belt line, throwing out heat through the fault-struck spine. Steel flare strings roaring in a red fire cry, launching our force at a smoke-born sky. Storm-carved union, sharp refined, cutting the path with a storm-forged mind. Dust-hung banners snapping in a crosswind shove. Stone branch rattles echoing from the ridge above. Heat plume ridges glowing in a molten sweep. Grainfall murmurs rising from the canyon deep. Torch step sparks flick across a shell-carved run. Frostburn vapor shimmer in the sinking sun. White front motion pressing down the glowing lane, feeding our drive like a frontier band. We are the storm-carved union on a rust belt line, throwing out heat through backbone sky. Storm carved union, sharp refined, cutting the path with a storm forged mind. If the ground erupts with a quake deep shout, we push through hard without burning out. No surge too brutal for a backbone crew. We brand our name in the dust we hew. Sun-scorched glow settles over fractured stone. A faint low hum lingers like a distant tone. Beyond the ridge, warm embers slow, marking the course where our legends flow. Marshbow currents twisting through the gold rush reeds, boot prints sinking where the storm light bleeds. Iron barred shadows dragging on the river throat, my wind sparks floating like a wildfire note. Split bank timbers trembling under lightning sway, cold shore vapors drifting in a swamp-born gray. Thunder hands echoes beating in a low-ground churn, pulling our focus to the places that burn. Every sharp flash floods the southern span, pouring its power through the bones of the land. We are the thunder hands division in a marshbow glare, throwing out force through the weather-torn air. Storm-cut strings crackling in a skybound cry, sending out charge to the high-full sky. Thunder hands division, raw and rare, hammering a path where the brave hearts dare. With clay embers rising in a copper-white lift, brine crisp whispers shaping in a moonlit drift. Bog trail fences rattling in a frost wave hum, white flare currents rolling like a heavy drum. Steel vine branches quivering in a deep wind ring, cloud veil dust whipping where the rainstorms swing. Far shore rumble shaking down a silver span, feeding our will like a frontier plan. Every ground throb cracks the open blue, driving our pulse towards something new. We are the thunder hands division in a marshbow glare, throwing out force through the weather-torn air. Storm-cut strings crackling in a skybound cry, sending out charge to the high-full sky. Thunder hands division, raw and rare, hammering a path where the brave hearts dare. If the wetlands roar with a quake-born spark, we move straight and through the listening dark. No tide too harsh for a heart full steel. We bend that storm to the shape we feel. We are the thunder hands division in a marshbow glare, throwing out force through the weather-torn air. Stone-cut strings crackling in a skybound cry, sending out charge to the high-full sky. Thunder hands division, raw and rare, hammering a path where the brave hearts
shadows drift slow through the afterglow, guarding the secrets of everywhere we go. Gold rivulets is glowing in a scorched bone gleam. Boot steps snapping through the wildfire scene. Iron wagon shadows crawling over canyon wire. Smoke rift halos swirling in a dusk blue fire. Plateau hum rising with a deep stone growl. Wideband echoes chasing every Roman howl. Crackle-line sparks drifting through the broken air, driving our nerve toward the far-off glare. Every hot surge cuts the barren ground, filling our chest with a dust-raw sound. We are the canyon vanguard on a gold drift run, throwing out force where the red wind stun. Steel cords bursting in a sand-shot cry, flinging our charge at a wildfire sky. Canyon vanguard, forged and spun, shaping the world where the brave hearts drum. Rust-born timber shaking in the heat of line sway. Crimson haze drifting down the granite way. Cold shade ridges breathing in a thunder cast. Hard scrape banners whipping in the canyon blast. Slope fall ashes tumbling in a copper churn. Donna crest murmurs tighten every turn. Fighter cut origins leaning through the stormless span, feeding our drive like a sharpened plan. Every rough pulse bends a day in flame, pushing our boots with a frontier aim. We are the canyon vanguard on a gold drift run, throwing out force where the red wind stun. Steel grit cords bursting in a sand-shot cry, flinging our charge at a wildfire sky. Canyon vanguard, forged and spun, shaping the world where the brave hearts drum. If the cliffs beat back with a quake deep roar, we'll meet that shock with a heart of coal. No blast too harsh for a grit-trimmed soul. We carry that burn as a living roll. We are the canyon vanguard on a gold drift run, throwing out force where the red wind stun. Steel grit cords bursting in a sand-shot cry, flinging our charge at a wildfire sky. Canyon vanguard, forged and spun, shaping the world where the brave hearts drum. Sunfire drips across the battered stone. The heat sighs low like an ancient tone. Far in the haze, the last sparks glow, tracing the path of everywhere we go. Current slicing through the wind lake shore. Boot steps clattering on a steel grain floor. Clocks by towers chiming in a frost glow ring.
Ripple glass sparks lifting with a chill front swing. High crest saddle shining on a ridge-wide span. Cold line trimmers rolling like a marching clang. Silver hoof echoes crossing through the dewborn veil, pulling our charge down the wild front trail. Every sharp breeze wets the sky in fire, feeding our stride with a road wide desire. We're the eye crest drifters on a wind lake flight, throwing out thunder through the mid-blue night. String shot wrist blazing in a cold steel cry, launching our roar toward the lantern sky. Iron crest drifters, fierce and bright, racing the gusts where the bold ignite. Mist-veiled timbers humming on a shoreline bend, heartborn vapors swirling where the gold winds blend. Stone bend prairies glowing in a downwave cast, fire green leaves rattling in a chill front blast. Frost line wagons shivering on a northbound rail, drift trail hollers winding through the valley pale. Wide bank echoes skipping on the untouched land, driving our pulse like an outlaw band. Every tall clang splits the world in three, pushing our boots where the wild hearts flee. We're the iron crest drifters on a wind lake flight, throwing out thunder through the mid-blue night. String shot wrist blazing in a cold steel cry, launching our roar toward the lantern sky. Iron crest drifters, fierce and bright, racing the gusts where the bold ignite. If the peaks ring out with a quake bone tone, we'll surge straight through like we're caught from stone. No frost too harsh for a drifting flame, we strike our mark in the iron crest name. We're the iron crest drifters. We're the iron crest drifters on a wind lake flight, throwing out thunder through the mid-blue night. String shot riff blazing in a cold steel cry, launching our roar toward the lantern sky. Iron crest drifters, fierce and bright, racing the gusts where the bold ignite. Blue gold dawn settling on the water's crown, hill wind murmurs slowing down, but long as the lake keeps calling free, the drifters rise, and they ride with me. Crest ridge is rumbling in a deep black sweep, boot heels striking on the charbon steep. Iron flint sheds glowing through the ash wine glare, storm fork drafts kicking in the canyon air. Barn beam rafter shudder with a hard line groan, dust fall spiral skitter on a cracked red stone. Smolder trail echo
echoes rising from the dry cut scene, pulling our nerve like a hot work dream. Every chorus gust fires the valley's roar, raising our stride through the wild soul floor. We're the Stormford Riders on a cold crest run, shaking loose sparks till the dust comes undone. Steel bite cold dripping in a furnace cry, launching our howl toward the red cliff sky. Stormford Riders, fierce as one, racing the break where the strong hearts stun. Grain-stacked embers drifting in a hard wind tide, cinder-back fences rattling on the hillside glide, bell-line pillars humming in a torch-warm ring, flowery grove leaves snapping in a twilight swing, rock-jaw timbers clacking on the dustway crack, tin rail icons glowing in the fireborn black, blaze crest whisper sweeping through the midland frame, feeding our grit with a frontier flame. Every ground shake splits the farmlands wide, driving our boots in a red trail glide. We're the Stormford Riders on a cold crest run, shaking loose sparks till the dust comes undone. Steel bite cords ripping in a furnace cry, launching our howl towards the red cliff sky. Stormford Riders, fierce as one, racing the break where the strong hearts stun. If the plains ignite with a quake-shot roll, cut straight through like a wild line core, no blast too hot for a rider's claim. We forge our path in the ember flame. We're the Stormford Riders on a cold crest run, shaking loose sparks till the dust comes undone. Steel bite cords ripping in a furnace cry, launching our howl towards a red cliff sky. Stormford Riders, fierce as one, racing the break where the strong hearts stun. Cold warm twilight settling on the plowland scene, slow burn murmurs drifting like a fading dream. But as long as the crest keeps roaring free, the Stormford Riders ride with me. Slicing through the moonlit sand, boot marks cracking on a frost-white land, cold flare pillars rising by a cratered trail, spark veil motes swarming in a lavender gale, steel front cabins humming with an ember tone ring, shadow flint gusts tugging at a weathered wing, astrolite ripples flashing on a canyon plate, pulling our stride through the drift fire gate. Every pale gust bends the desert glow, feeding our pulse with a wild-born throw. We're the drift fire outlaws on a moonridge ride, punching up heat where the low winds glide. Voltage string growls tearing through the cold, launching our sparks like a runaway bolt. Drift fire outlaws, untamed pride, racing the dust
rising from the canyon deep. Frost bloom petals lifting in a violet rush. Earthshine pulses in a trembling hush. Old rover crates rattling in a cobalt sway. Sky-worn banners flicking in the astral spray. Wind-scar whistles skimming down the ridge-bark span, and driving our nerve like a front-line clan. Every sharp note shakes the shadows frame, stirring our boots in a burning aim. We're the drift fire outlaws on a Moon Ridge ride, punching up heat where the low winds glide. Voltage string growls tearing through the cold, launching our sparks like a runaway boat. Drift fire outlaws, untamed pride, racing the dusk on the crater side. If the night cracks open with a starborn roar, we'll blaze straight through like we have before. No ridge too pale for the fire we hold. We stamp our vow in the silver fold. We're the drift fire outlaws on a Moon Ridge ride, punching up heat where the low winds glide. Voltage string growls tearing through the cold, launching our sparks like a runaway boat. Drift fire outlaws, untamed pride, racing the dusk on the crater side. Dawn eyes shimmer on the moonlit plain. Low wind murmurs fading like a gentle chain. But as long as the stars breathe wild and free, the drift fire outlaws ride with me.